Shalom, shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, shalom to the elect, Bashem Rachakwadash, my name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. This is the apostle reviewing Arrows of Indignation 144, and someone was, I believe, watched a couple of seconds of it. Well, no, I skimmed through it at about the 9-minute mark. I believe someone was in interview for a green card or citizenship, and they were detained. So let's see what she has to say. I think it's a lady.
I was detained by ICE during my green card interview, and I'm going to talk about the conditions of the detention center and the processing site where I was held at, and specifically the water situation. I want to start this off by saying that water is a basic human right, and even though the people that were detained, were in this prison, were these criminals, we still deserve access to water. Right after I got detained, I spent 3 hours in a van waiting to be transported to the processing center, which is in the federal building in downtown San Diego. Once I was at the processing center, they put me in a cell and they gave me a regular plastic water bottle, which I ended up drinking about this much.
All they simply got to do is deport these people. He's not deporting them. He's not deporting them. He's putting them in detention centers to give them work assignments. He's putting them in slavery. They're enslaved. Neither slavery, that is slavery. They got them bound against their will. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist in the United States except for punishment of crime. Now maybe they're saying being in the country illegal is a crime, so we're going to lock you up. But what they're supposed to do is deport you, which they're not doing for the most part.
Before they transferred me to a cell right next to the cell I was in and made me throw it away because they said that I wasn't allowed to take my water bottle in there. Once I got to the second cell, there was a metal toilet and a metal sink in there, but...
Another thing too, these northern kingdoms thought they were better than Jake. A lot of these northern kingdom men, they marry Edomite women. A lot of these northern kingdom women, they marry Edomite men, and they assimilate themselves into the system. Because as they have children, the children look more Americanized, let's say. They're raised up speaking English. A lot of these Spanish-speaking households, the children don't even speak. They speak very poor Spanish. I know that for a fact.
The faucet wasn't working, so there was no water coming out of the sink. After a couple hours, one of the guards came in and I asked him if I could have another water bottle, and he pointed to the sink and said there's water right there, and I told him the sink wasn't working, so there was no water coming out, and he rolled his eyes and said,
What a devil. The devil should know if the sink is working or not. The devil should know whether the toilets are clean and sanitary and has toilet paper or not. This is purposeful ignorance, willingly ignorant. You shouldn't have an inmate, that's what she was, an inmate, reporting that the sink don't work. You should have periodic checks, if they actually gave a damn, on the sanitary nature of the facilities that they're supposed to be guarding and running. The devil, right?
that if he got me water, that meant he had to get everybody else in the cell's water, and he's too busy and doesn't have time for that. So he left, and a couple hours later he did end up coming back with a water bottle. So I did drink about this much again because I was rationing it. I didn't know how long I was going to have this water bottle for. Around 30 minutes after I got the water bottle, they said it was time for dinner, and if I wanted to eat dinner, they were going to move me to another cell right next door. And when I was walking to that cell, they made me throw away the water bottle. Because
this is called draconian laws, draconian measures.
said I couldn't.
Yeah, and they're being trained to be inmates, being trained to get institutionalized. All right. Esau's not pious. Just because they broke the law, whether it be a misdemeanor or a felony, Esau, he's not noble because he got you on a because you broke the law. Now, she's for, of course, she's not going to tell her whole business online. At least I don't think she is. But she's there for a green card interview, so why is she being detained? She didn't reveal that part, at least in this clip anyway. So I don't know if she's expired or she's here illegally, or because you're supposed to get it renewed like before it expires. How So if she's here illegally, which she probably was because she got detained, or they just don't give a damn if your green card's still valid or your legal status in the country is still valid, no matter what it may be. Just want to institutionalize you, get you move you around the system, detain her anyway. Fish, but see if you can find something. That's the devil. All right. Look, and they're gonna pay for every single little nuance, little microaggression, macroaggression, murder, death, kill. Esau, Edom. You're gonna pay for every single irksome behavior, irksome action you ever took against any Israelite. You got a lot to pay for, so you better do as much wickedness as you can before your kingdom runs out. Before your time is up, you better do wonderfully to the tribes, all your evil that you can do, because the shit that you're going to receive, the fire you're going to receive on your head is going to be double according to the scriptures.
Take it into the new cell. After that, I finally got moved to the last and final cell before being transferred to Otay Mesa Detention Center. And in that cell, the sink was working a little bit, like the water was coming out of the faucet a little bit, so you could kind of cup your hand and drink the water. But at this point,
they got an electric meter, they got a water meter, and you have inmates that they don't really give a fuck about. So they got to make sure they conserve resources. All right. So that's part of the reason why the conditions are the way they are, because Esau Edom is Satan. He try to treat everybody the same instead of differentiating between like a crazy person. You might have a misunderstanding on that one. He'll blanket judge you. You're all over there. All right. Instead of taking the time and saying, okay, well, this dude seems like he's really fucking crazy. Let him go farther down that way. This day seemed pretty reasonable here. Let them go. The rules be a little more looser here, But hey, good. Hey, do more wickedness, do more evil. All right, do more. I want you to. I'm praying that you do more wickedness, do more evil, Esau.
I had used the restroom and there is no toilet paper or soap for you to wash your hands with, so I decided I did not want
that happened when we got hemmed up. That happened to us. There was no soap, so we had to when we get further process downstairs, we stole it. I told Apostle Ron Love, I said, grab them bars of soap. So I said, grab as many as you can. You grab maybe 3 or 4 of them. And the CO, he said, what you doing? We said, nothing. We ain't doing nothing. I mean, he didn't say shit, so we had soap, but that's what they do. You don't get a shower. You maybe 2-3 days go by before you get a shower because you ain't got no goddamn soap.
I drink the water out of my hand. Once I was transferred to the Otay Mesa Detention Center, it was the same situation. You're just put in a cell with a metal toilet and a metal sink that barely works, and no cups and no water bottles. When I got to my cell of the detention center, there is one sink with drinkable water for 150 women, and I asked one of the other girls that was detained if she knew where I could get a cup or I could get something to drink water with, and she said that there isn't. I got to the detention center Tuesday morning, and the only way to get a cup is to order one and buy one from the commissary, and that is a whole other video, but basically.
Okay, why are you buying stuff while you're in jail? So they got currency in jail? I mean, like legally, currency? He's twisted. You got a lot of sins that you're gonna have to swallow. You're gonna have to swallow it. All right. It's gonna crack your head open while you're swallowing it.
Basically, the commissary, you order it Sunday morning and it arrives Tuesday
What the hell? Are they at a hotel?
morning. So I was gonna have to wait a week to be able to order a cup to drink water from. In the meantime, one of the other girls that was detained gave me a little plastic Dixie cup about this big. When you take medication, you have to go to the pill line, so you have to go to another cell and you get a little tiny Dixie cup of water this big. They give you your medication and you drink it, and you're normally supposed to throw away the cup, but this girl had taken the cup with her and brought it with her, and so when I told her that I was thirsty, she kindly gave me her little tiny plastic Dixie cup, and that is what I used for the entire week to drink water there. I would go back and forth to the sink to fill up this cup this big with water so that I could drink. The water coming out from the faucet too, or from the sink, was hot water, hot enough to like mix your coffee in or to put a tea
All right, you watch the rest of the video. Well, it's about to be over now. Well, I'll finish it off.
bag in. So most of the time you had to kind of like wait for it to cool down a little bit. Wednesday night of me being there, I was so dehydrated. My lips were super dry and chapped to a point where they started bleeding because of how dry they were. Again, I think water is a basic human necessity and it's a right, and I don't think it should have been that hard to get access to.
Well, they're gonna say, "Oh, they're gonna flood the thing and then try to do an escape." But you're gonna flood it. Keep the water running, make a flood. Then maintenance got to come in and fix it, and then they start attacking the guards. You know,
Clean drinking
that's the excuse for them not to have everything right.
water.
Yeah, well, you're dealing with the devil.
Exactly.
Anyway, Shalom.
Yeah, so you go to Revelation, the apostle quoted, I believe he might have brought it up too. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. I mean, confidence, this confidence that, look, that the creator of all existence, Yahweh the Father and his Son, who was commissioned to create our existence, Yahweh Shai was commissioned to create our existence. He is on our side. What can he do? What can Esau do but cause us pain and suffering? That's his power, pain and suffering and lies. He can't do anything above that. And our God, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh the Father, Yahweh Shai the Son, all right, Yahweh Shai the only begotten of the Father, is all powerful. He can deliver us from anything. He can deliver us from any thought, any addiction, any peril or fear. So he is fighting for us. He's going before us to fight the devil. He's going to slay the devil. He's going to put him down. So we have, to whom it may apply, unconquerable faith